vision is, because I've seen a vision where it is so crystal clear that it's real to me.
Yeah.
But there's a slight difference in that and when imagine a red apple.
Yeah.
I can taste it, smell it.
I mean, I can see it, but it's more of like a thinking seeing. I don't see it.
What about a banana? That was one of the first tricks that I learned when they were teaching me how to visualize.
Yeah.
It was try to see, don't think about monkeys.
No, my clairvoyance is it's hard to explain. It's like I feel the vision. And it's not even just a vision, it's like a movie, and I more feel it.
Claire knowing.
Yeah.
That's what comes natural to you. I wonder if that's where people differentiate.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I tell you what, being claircognizant, that was one bitch of a learning process.
Yeah.
Because I had to trust myself.
That's the hardest one to be able to trust.
Yeah. Right.
It is. And I got that.
Because if I had a vision or something that was hearing, it would be something tangible.
I just know. How do you know? I don't know. I just know.
Right.
I can't tell when you're ready.
Yeah. I feel good.
Because I did this. Boom.
That's funny. Okay, so the guides are just telling me, before we get started with this particular video, to just let everybody know that there are going to be captions down below. We are not going to say a couple of words as we go through these questions, just because a couple of these words would trigger algorithms to keep the video super suppressed, or potentially get a video strike. And we don't want to do that. So, watch out for the captions when we get into those questions. So, it's funny because the guides are kind of giggling and they're like, isn't that a funny conversation? They're like, but we want this to be seen, you know? Like, we don't want it to get taken down. Yeah. We're ready.
Okay. First question is from Janie. What can we work on as a collective to cultivate more community connection?
The first thing that they're bringing up is opening up the heart chakra more. Really focusing on releasing resistance, releasing judgment, and doing that within the self, because that strengthens the heart chakra of the collective. That's part of the process that the light workers are helping with when it comes to waking up the rest of humanity. The other thing that they're bringing up, though, is that it's very important to also remember there's an energetic divide within the collective right now, and it is divinely timed. It's a part of the awakening process. And to think that there's something that we can do or must do to rush it or hurry it along is a vibration of lack. And so we want people to find more peace in what's happening and try to take a step back and see it from Source's perspective and the bigger picture, which is that humanity is waking up and there will be much unity consciousness within even the next year time frame. But the things that you can focus on right now are being the example of light for others. As the collective continues to wake up, they're going to be seeking you out all of you, for help and understanding. And the best thing you can do to help aid in this unity consciousness is to be ready to be that light, to be the one to help them understand the things that are going on and how to manage it and how to find their own truth. And you do that by being very centered in your heart. We do understand that there is a group within the Lightworking Collective that's very connected to the Christ consciousness and very connected to the oneness energy. And we do know that it is very difficult going through this awakening and not really feeling that energy come together, even though there are other pieces that are very obvious to them that this ascension is happening and that we are moving along in this direction. To not see the oneness and the love and peace and harmony really expanding throughout the planet yet is very difficult for the light-working souls that are attached to these groups, which we had talked about in the previous video. So we understand and we urge you to continue to center yourself in your own heart and create the oneness within without seeing any lack, recognizing that you are the creator, you are the bringer of the light. And the more you can ground it into your heart chakra and see it from the view of source, which is absolute perfection, you will grow this light so big that it will attract others, many, many others. And this is how we get the oneness consciousness to really begin to expand.
Okay, next question is from Andrew. When will spiritual trauma and adversity end? And when I hear spiritual trauma, my first feeling is, there's so much healing and so much light work that goes on in the lightworker community, and I think everyone's exhausted from it. And I think the question is, when is it that we're complete with healing and we're moving into creation?
We want to start first by saying that your inner frequency, where you direct your thoughts, where you direct your awareness, plays a major role in how you release your history. And so we understand how uncomfortable this has been. But for as long as we've been communicating with Crystal, we have been telling you all that it doesn't have to be this hard. We want you to continue practicing surrender, release. Yes. But we also want you to continue practicing the reprogramming of your inner thoughts, your inner world. What are you paying attention to? What are you giving your power to? And we're going to ask you to, as you heal, just focus yourself into the higher vibrations. Even if you're not feeling your best, read the uplifting stuff. Be dreamy about it. Not that you have to believe it, but choose to believe in its possibility. There is much darkness being felt still on the planet. And And it can be very easy to tune into those frequencies as you release your own personal history. Being an empath is a real thing. You feel it all. So when we don't have the awareness of directing our focus, directing our consciousness on things that produce a more positive energetic outcome within, we kind of bounce with whatever is being brought to our attention. And then as your own healing comes up, the frequencies intertwine and it gets difficult to see what's what, whose is whose. A beautiful tool that we've been giving many empaths lately is to look at your emotional response and then look at what triggered it. Is the variance close or is it far off? Does the emotion match the circumstance? If that's a no, if it's that this emotion is very strong and what came up probably wasn't that big of a deal this time. Maybe sometimes it is a very big deal, but maybe this time it wasn't such a big deal. But you still have this very strong, energetic, emotional response. Then we want you to recognize that you're picking up on energies outside of the self. Why does this matter? How does this tie into the question at hand? Because so many times as you are releasing your trauma and you are not directing your focus on this being a positive experience as far as us ascending and moving, even though we're going through a release, when you can't give yourself peace of mind or, just give yourself a little slack, cut yourself off, let yourself off the hook, per se. You take on your own trauma and the traumas that you're feeling around you, and this can be very intense. And we believe that that's what's happening in this situation. So we are asking the person that had felt this question within to really begin to look at the things that they are focusing on and see if they can maybe improve their lens of love and allow themselves to look at this transformation and look at the healing and look at the purging and look at the loneliness and all of the things that are being felt at this time a little bit more through the lens of love, of trusting this shift. It's going to make a world of a difference as people process through their healing. Go through this healing with hope, a new dawn. It's here for you.
One of the things, our practice of doing affirmations and writing them out and speaking and reading them to each other and then going on walks and listening to binaural beats or, positive programming. Without those things, we just would get clobbered sometimes. And
yeah.
But man,
it saved
it's
you.
Both of us.
Yes.
It was, and then we got to a point where we reached a momentum and kind of tipped the scale and let's I can breathe.
Yeah.
We're on top of it now.
And then the entire world would feel all of these waves and you would see it all over the place and, huge spikes in the Schumann and everybody's feeling very, very down and you two were flying high. You have been very lucky in that you have processed a lot less than the collective has.
Yeah, amen. Okay.
But we also would like to attribute this to the fact that you two also listen to the guidance that is given and you use your tools.
Absolutely.
It is not that you are lucky. It is not that you just found your alignment. No. It's that your intuition said, I should do this, and you did it. Yeah. And it shifted your world.
It's a game changer.
Yes. Yes.
So, next question is from Christy. with the global market fluctuating, how should we approach our investments? There's so much going on, the economy and a lot of outside things. There's a lot of concerns with investments. That's a great
The
question.
financial market, yeah. This is a part of the shift. The global market has to change. The financial system must change. It is a system of theft currently, and it is not serving the highest good. So as the vibrations of Gaia change, this system, this energy exchange, money, as you call it here, does not match the new energy. And so it is going to shift into an abundant system. And it will start through gold, and then we'll move away from money entirely, because you will understand an energy exchange, but you're in that process right now. And when you look at that from a human perspective, it can look very unstable, because you have been programmed to believe that your well-being is very tied in to how much money you can manifest and create. And so we are going to encourage you to do whatever you need to do to feel safe and secure, so that you can keep your vibration high. We do not recommend investments at this time other than gold. Follow your internal guidance. There are going to be a lot of dramatic shifts. When these shifts begin to come into play, your intuition will say, I need to move my money here. I need to take my money out of there. And you have practiced listening to your intuition enough that you will know that you need to listen. You will be guided through this transition. There is no need to fear. There is more abundance on your planet than you could possibly imagine. And it's going to be redistributed in ways that will reset completely your way of living. Get excited about this process. Visualize this process. And release all fear, as you are a leader. And you now know what's coming.
The best is yet to come.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, next question is from Renee. How are the Palladians helping us?
Just like the humans have different races, the Pleiades have different races, and the Syrians have different races, Arcturians have different races. There are different races of the Pleiadians that are assisting within many missions on planet Earth at this time. And actually in both realms of New Earth and the Earth you are currently experiencing in your third dimensional reality. They are assisting in the transition. They protect portals around and in your planet to protect the traffic incoming, and to lessen the disturbances to the energy and the shifts going on your planet.
Are they working directly with the government?
Yes. They are working with the government in the secret space program, I mean, obviously, from our perspective, from the way I feel right now, at least that's an obviously. I'm like, I don't know what everybody else feels like.
For the small-minded, go ahead and catch us up.
To me, that just is. Sorry, that is probably
back
gonna
it
come
up.
off bad, but whatever. They are within the White House. People will be very surprised to find out who they are when their consciousness is ready to handle that.
I'm excited for that. Is Renee?
They are the higher ups in the military.
Wow.
And it's not that the higher ups in the military, they themselves are Pleiadians. It's that they have guides that are coming in and communicating with them on a very heavy basis. All of the higher ups in the military right now have had meetings within the secret space program and have been briefed. And many of them are now being guided through this transition by a Pleiadian. But there are many, many, many other beings too that they're being guided by. It's like you could look at one person and they're being guided by like 15 beings right now. It's very excessive, way more than people are aware. The aid on the planet is absolutely incredible. The balance of energy that is going on even in the inner earth right now, it would just blow your mind. They're amplifying higher vibrations to aid in the shift. For a long time, there was like this treaty that they couldn't interact. They could observe, they could communicate sometimes if we were in alignment with that, but it was seldom. And it was only until that treaty was kind of up that the interactions really began. And it wasn't until we began to have conscious awareness of them that they were really able to kind of aid us and help us, because we have to ask for it. They are not beings that will intervene. Everything that's going on right now has been asked through the consciousness of humanity. And so, I mean, they're everywhere. Where are they not?
So is Renee specifically working with Pleiadians?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she knows that. She feels very tuned into them. Lots of activity in the dream state. She knows, but it's like, how do you know? You know what I mean? It's like she has that inner knowing, but she hasn't found her trust quite yet. But after she hears this, it'll be a game changer.
What are they working with her on?
They're working with her right now and opening up her heart chakra and really learning to trust again. Cool. Yeah, but that's a lot of people within the collective too. A lot of people are really, really having to learn how to love again. Yeah. It's a whole different level of opening your heart up in these energies right now. And so through the trauma and the pain of the human existence, that can be one of the most difficult things to do. And it was put in place that way through the Matrix on purpose. That is how they were able to keep you in such a programmable state for so long, not knowing who you truly are, not knowing your true power. So continue to open your heart. You're doing just fine, Renee.
And learn how to have fun again.
Mm-hmm. Everybody can learn how to have fun again. Yeah.
All right.
Childlike.
Nikolai, how will the, quote, CV impact us?
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that are happening with the CV. in the area of origination, there's a lot of disinformation. What is being shared is not the truth. What is being shared is propaganda. They, and by they we mean the dark forces, are doing everything in their power right now to drop the vibration of humanity through fear. If you keep your vibration high, you'll be fine. If you keep your vibration neutral, you'll be fine. This is not a physical threat. This is an energetic threat. And when you understand that, you will feel very secure in your role of knowing who you are and knowing how to manage your frequency to stay in these higher frequencies and only manifest these higher outcomes for yourself and humanity. You are very strong beings at this time. Do not give in to the fear that's being presented to you on a daily basis. Your world is not in jeopardy, and you are not in jeopardy.
That reminds me of it's like negative programming, and the only way to combat that is by doing your own positive programming.
Yeah.
It's
remind yourself you're safe. Remind yourself that you're fine. Remind yourself that you're protected. Remind yourself that you're guided. That if something were to come into your vicinity that was a potential of doing harm to you, trust that you would know. Trust that you're not oblivious to this, that you're in tune, because you are. You are. There's going to be a lot of fear around CV continuing to pop up. And we would suggest the lightworking community and those who are listening to this, stay on their heart. Trust what you know to be happening. Don't give your power to the world around you when it's in chaos and fear. Give your power to your truth. Give your power to your desire. And trust that source is here with you.
Okay, Heather wants more clarity on the massive shift yesterday.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Is that a timeline jump?
No, it wasn't a timeline jump. We had a very high amplitude on the Schumann resonance. It went to 170.
Wow.
It was felt very strongly across the entire planet. And we would like to first say that this can be kind of looked at as like, just adding another nail for security and just pounding that nail in. When that amplitude hit, it grounded the human collective into this new timeline even further, just like you would put another nail in what you're building to really secure it. But we would also like to say that in a very, very powerful sense. That shift put the manifestation, okay, reword this. That pulse of energy pushed the timeline forward so that everything that we felt that was going to happen a year from now would be bumped up like 6 months, right?
Nice.
So now they're saying like that time frame is not like they're giving us a time frame, because right. The council, they don't give us time frames. It's almost like they're refusing to operate in time because of the vibration and consequences that it holds when you do. So what they're saying is they want you to use that as kind of the idea of the jump, right? Mm-hmm. You have made a very large leap forward on your timeline because of that spike in amplitude. The energy pulsed through the entire planet and it shifted everything. It was like everything in reality shifted over a centimeter. And yes, it seems like it's only a centimeter, but that centimeter changes the entire reality because everything's moved.
So when we're visualizing, imagining the new Earth energy, that's actually amping up the Schumann, which is causing these timeline shifts?
Yes. The more you can visualize and be in the third eye with the reality that you are bringing forward, the reality of the new Earth, the event. When you tune into the third eye and you are also open in your heart, you are grounding in the frequency of the manifestation of this timeline. And the more it's grounded in, it has to manifest. Because that energy is being pulled into this reality by you, by Crystal, by the people that are listening to this, by Heather, by whoever else needed this information. When you ponder things in the third eye and bring your imagination into the mix, you really utilize that muscle, and these messages can get stronger and more clear. When you are centered in your heart chakra, you are centered in a fifth dimensional vibration. That is the frequency of New Earth. So by joining the two, you are in a position to be a master creator, master manifester, master attractor. And this energy comes forward and into fruition that much quicker.
I think I know for myself, some of the hiccup comes from practicing law of attraction for a long time with the imagination and feeling it, touching it, making it so real in your imagination that there may be a disconnect because there was so much trial and effort with that, with very little results. But
yes, because we don't want you to keep telling that story though, so we're going to come in. Yes, absolutely. But that is the way that we manifested back then. It wasn't that it was wrong. It's that the energy then was different. Right. But you are 100% correct. It has shifted itself into a new form. And people a lot of times feel that to manifest, they have to get into this feeling space of it. And while yes, that was true, really manifesting in this third dimension, but now that we are moving into a fifth dimensional manifested space, the way for us to get you to ground into these frequencies through your human consciousness right now is to bring it in through the third eye. And as you utilize this muscle and open up this ability, because you all have it, it's all within you, the template is activated now. And as you practice this and help it come online, just like if you were trying to grow your calf muscles, you wouldn't just look at them and say, gosh, I can't wait till you're grown. Like you would do the exercises every single day. You would stretch, you would love them, you would moisturize your skin. We want you to do these things with your third eye. Really get in there and get that muscle working. Through this vision, you will be given information that'll allow you to have a new perception. When you have these new perceptions, you move into a space of being. And this is what we've been telling you all along. The further you move into this state of being, you are that fifth dimensional being, then the world around you has to change. Absolutely has to. It's law.
So the state of being is to be in more of that state of imagination. I mean, throughout the entire
open to
day.
all possibility through the eyes of Source.
Right, and then
feeling all possibility through Source's energy.
Yeah.
Yes, hope, love, joy, excitement.
Okay, Leanne wants clarity on soul connections in our relationships and how are they impacted by past lives.
Yeah. So anybody that's around you at this current time has some sort of tie to you energetically from a past life, because we're releasing multiple timelines of history right now. And the human life, we want to say for like the last century, has been completely about releasing old timelines for the ascension period. So anybody that is in your timeline currently, you have history with in one way, shape, or form or another. And it could be that you have history here on Earth in past lives, and it could be that they're from your home planet and that you have a history with your mission work elsewhere. But we can say everybody in your life is here for a reason right now. Everything and every person that is in your life right now is serving you. And all you have to do is be open to the possibility of seeing it, good or bad. It's all working out in your favor.
Okay, Blanco's question is, how do we activate light language in our spiritual gifts?
We would say the easiest way to begin to activate these abilities is to just start practicing. Just do it. You know, it's like, how do you activate your ability to do a cartwheel? Well, you got to go outside and try, right? So we want to say that about all of these gifts. Releasing doubt is going to be a major one, because if you're harnessing a lot of doubt around the fact that you don't believe that you can have access to connections and communication, or to a higher vibrational ability using your physical body, or even tuning into the abilities of the crystalline body, the light body, you first begin by pulling it into the imagination. We would like to say to Blanco, what does it look like to utilize the energy in your hands? When you close your eyes, what does it feel like? What do you see? And then we would urge you to play around your house or your environment or wherever you are, as if that energy is really there, really in the hands. The more you get yourself in a playful, active mode of acting as if, you are shifting the energy within you. You're being different. And as you be different, you attract different things. But we do have to say this: you cannot be in that state and have your consciousness be in doubt. If you want to play in the realm of receiving your abilities, you have to remain open and allowing in your energy. So yes, play and act as if. See and imagine red light coming from your hands and communicating with your plants and your children and your animals or what have you. But be in an open space of receiving possibility as you do so, because when you're in that state of being, you'll receive a lot of insight. You're then open to the possibility of what could be with the energy in your hands, and your guidance can come through and deliver those communications to you. It's not that we want you to play in this state all the time just to create a vibration. When you play in these states, you offer to the universe and the guidance your vibration of being willing to be this new fifth dimensional being that you're becoming. Because a lot of times people will be in their third dimensionalness of, I am human, this is the way my hands and arms work, this is the way my eyes work. They can't see themselves as the being who can instantly manifest an apple in their hand when they want it, that can run as fast as the birds fly and jump up trees and spiral themselves down to earth without gravity. You have to play in the imagination and kind of see it for yourself to know that it's even a possibility, and then be willing to receive those gifts. We've guided Teresa many times to be in her imagination, in her backyard, in a beautiful yard, at a wooden workbench with this beautiful book that she can flip through, and every single page in this book is her Akashic record. And we ask her to play in this space and create. This is creating her ability to really work with energy within her hands. But she's got to go there and visualize it first. You don't have to know what your abilities are. You just have to be open to be in a new energy of being different, and then the universe can serve it to you. Things will start to happen. Vibrations will show up. Visions will show up. Ideas will show up. Books will show up. Healers will show up that do what you're about to start doing. Yeah.
That's the end of the questions. Do you want to say anything for this group as a whole, or wrap it up?
Yeah, everybody is doing very well, and we know that the energy has been intense, but we would like to playfully say hang on to your boots, because it's about to get even more intense, and there is not any of this that you cannot handle as you are calling it forward with your deepest desire for change. So just continue to trust the path, trust what you know to be unfolding, and do your best to really close off your eyes and put on your little horse blinders to the world around you when it comes to the collective at this time. Now is not the time for you to be in savior mode when people are in this panic and state of chaos within. It's not quite time yet. Now is still the time for you to stay within the heart chakra and continue to find your stability. You will know when it's time to really come forward and shine your light and help those around you. It'll be absolutely undeniable. Until then, continue to fill up your cup. Continue to keep yourself in high vibrational states. And when you find yourself in a release, give yourself love and compassion like you would give your best friend. You are over the hump of being hard on yourself. You are grounding in who you are. Learning to love is this last little step. And because of the programming, sometimes it can cause a major release. Be one with it, acknowledge it, say goodbye. This is the last time. This is the last time you will feel this energy come up. You're ready to be different. You're ready to be who you know yourself to be. Trust.